deal? That's your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag, you know what I mean? As of this recording, it is May 11th, 5/20/2026, 5:20 p.m., May 11th, 2026. This is the only video of the day that I'm going to be doing. I just came out of work about 2 hours ago. I just finished cooking. Now, I mean, I just did some stuff for today. I'm actually doing some ground beef for tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm pissed off because, the Kraft macaroni cheese that I brought, I didn't realize that the shit expired and I really wanted to do it. I'm like, fuck. So right now I'm just cooking some ground beef and shit. You know what I mean? So this is a very interesting story. There's two interesting stories with AEW, right? One of them, it has to do with Triller TV, right? And I might do a video on that tomorrow because apparently AEW is suing Triller TV for unpaid funds, and they claim that Triller TV never promoted their shows. They promote stuff for other programs, but not AEW. Good. That tells me that there's problems at AEW, right? But the other one here, this is a big one, right? So AEW, and if you hear me banging again, that's me cooking this shit. So AEW and Jazwares, right? Jazwares is a company that makes toys. You know what I mean? They make action figures and shit. You know what I mean? They made action figures for AEW, right? So it was reported that they both have parted ways, right? AEW and Jazwares have parted ways from one another, right? Because apparently, Jazwares was basically laying people off, and so they laid people off. I think the AEW department and shit. The toys was trash. I'm sorry, the toys were garbage. I mean, no offense. Look, they were okay. No, I mean, they weren't like Mattel or Hasbro and shit, or Jakks Pacific. They weren't something like that. Or I think it was the San Francisco toy makers and shit. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think those were the ones that made the ECW toys and stuff. So, Jazwares was just a group that just basically came out of nowhere. To make toys for AEW. It seems like there's a lot of shit going on with AEW where a lot of things are crumbling one by one. One by one. You know what I'm saying? Like, they parted ways with Pro Wrestling Tees, right? And now all of a sudden they're parting ways with Jazwares. And now Triller, this whole Triller TV thing is happening. Which makes me wonder, are there bigger problems with AEW right now than what we all know? Because that's why I kind of get the sense that that's basically what's happening. All Elite Wrestling is in a situation where they are not, they're not hitting like they once did. You know what I mean? They're not in full demand like they once were, right? I don't even know if Upper Deck is still making stuff for AEW. I don't know. But the Jazwares is interesting because Jazwares started making AEW action figures when the company first started, right? And so it's real interesting how all of a sudden, let me put this shit up here. How all of a sudden they're laying off people for their toy department and stuff. You know what? Is AEW in big trouble? In bigger trouble than what we know now? It's always a possibility. It's always a possibility because, again, how is it that these things are happening all in the same fucking year? Especially with Pro Wrestling Tees and now Jazwares, right? And yes, Triller TV, yes. But, with Jazwares, again, is there a problem going on that we don't know? I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. Hold on for a minute. Sorry about that. Mama Tag just called me. But, yeah, I mean, look. With all these things that's going on with AEW right now, with businesses and partnerships folding. Again, is AEW in a position now where financials are not doing great, like what we know, and also, is there bigger problems? Because again, how is it that Jazwares, a company that was there with them, who started with them in 2020, now all of a sudden is backing out and making action figures for them? Again, I feel like there's something going on with AEW as a whole, right? Things are changing. The ratings are not doing great. One dickhead said, "Oh, net positive." Really? Look what's going on. Net positive, right? Net fucking positive, right, nigga? Net positive, right? Net positive. Get the fuck out of here. Right, with all these things that's going on, and now the whole thing with Triller TV. Man, you talk about WWE, you talk about WWE having budget cut problems and shit, right? AEW's in a real bad situation. Really bad, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Hold on real quick. Yeah, sorry about that again. Yeah, like I said, I dare somebody to defend what the fuck is going on with AEW. I dare you. Like I said before, and I'm going to say this again. This company has the most delusional fan base in all pro wrestling history. They do. Like every little thing that you say about these motherfuckers, they get titty attacks and this were the best wrestler, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, fucking Swerve Strickland was like, he asked the question, when will I be on TV next? Again, but this is what the fuck the AEW sickos like though, right? This is what you punk motherfuckers like though, right? And this is why you motherfuckers at the bottom of the barrel. Your company sucks. Your mother sucks. I mean, a bunch of stuff, right? But hey, I speak my mind. People don't like it too fucking bad, bitch. Too fucking bad. Anyway, guys, I'm about to be out. You know what I mean? This is the only video I'm making for the night. You know what I mean? So I hope you guys have a good night. I'm going to holler at y'all. All right? Take care. Peace.